Thanks very much, Laura. And yes, it was an excellent conversation with the French president. He stressed he was keen, I would say, to sort it out in the next few hours if we can, and our teams will be working on it flat out. And if we can get a result, then that would be great. But we'll do it as fast as we can.
I think local directors of public health clearly have got the role to make sure their local population is looked after, and they're doing a fantastic job, and therefore they need to make decisions that they need to make in order to do that. The new variant is spread around the country. It's localised in some places, but we know there are cases everywhere. So it's not as though we can stop this getting into other places. There's some there already. The message that's been very clear, and I think I want to reinforce it, is stay local. I mean, people shouldn't be travelling around the country at the moment. Stay local.
Thanks a lot, Laura. Let's go to Robert Petson, ITV.
Prime Minister, it's almost the end of the year. You must know by now whether we're going to get a free trade deal, will we? And given the events that you've seen in Dover, the great difficulties, do you still believe that the UK will, I think your words, prosper mightily on what you call, in Australian terms, most people call no deal? And just very quickly for Patrick Vallance, as I understand it, 10 to 15% of the new variant is outside London and the South East. Will Tier 3 be enough to keep the new strain in check outside of London and the South East?
Well, I'm just going to, alas, Robert, repeat what I think you've heard me say many times. I had a great conversation, by the way, with Emmanuel, as I've said. It's his birthday, by the way, but we vowed to stick off Brexit because that negotiation is being conducted, as you know, via the European Commission, and that's quite proper. And the position is unchanged. There are problems. It's vital that everybody understands that the UK has got to be able to control its own laws completely, and also that we've got to be able to control our own fisheries. And it remains the case that WTO terms would be more than satisfactory for the UK, and we can certainly cope with any difficulties that are thrown in our way. Not that we don't want a deal, but the WTO terms would be entirely satisfactory. And prosper mightily remains an extremely good description of life after January the 1st, either way.
It's probably worth adding that actually some of the reason why we've not seen big problems in Kent today is because actually the transition period work that's been going on for very many months and years even is coming to fruition a few weeks earlier than anticipated, but it does mean that the measures like having Manson available, like having the movable barrier available, and like having, including welfare for the hauliers, is all in place. And so, to a large extent, it has shown that we are ready.
Sorry.
As you say, the new variants around the country, it's in a very high proportion of cases in London, the South East and East, but it is present in other places as well. And the lessons I think that you have to learn about this virus generally is it's important to get ahead of it in terms of actions. It's important as rates start to go up that things are controlled. And so we need to monitor the rates very carefully, look at them all the time, regularly, as is being done by Public Health England, and take the action on tiers on the basis of the evidence as it accrues. The one thing I would say, though, is that, and I've said this before, I think over this period where in some parts of the country people are mixing with people they haven't been mixing with as part of Christmas, it's really important to follow the rules carefully and to make an assumption that you could be infectious. You could be the person spreading it to somebody else and behave accordingly.
Thanks, Robert. Gary Gibbon, Channel 4.